do it at the end of the year.
Right.
So I get live, I get whatever
meeting.
local
Oh.
things,
Right, yeah.
but the other one wouldn't do it.
It's one of
It
those.
was, I thought I had two the same,
All right.
put one in the front and worked fine, put one in the back,
Forward.
and then I realized this is a different one, even though they look alike.
It's on, so.
We're on.
It's not time to
Good.
get another new.
Welcome tonight to the Village of Holly Parks Commission meeting for September 6th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at Richter. I call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know.
Call the roll, please.
Hutchins,
Here.
McCanny, Cole,
Here.
Kyer,
Here.
Summers,
Here.
Peltonen, Hamilton.
Here.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to excuse Gail Pelton and Sarah McKinney from tonight's meeting.
I will make a motion to excuse Gail Peltonen and Sarah McCanny from tonight's meeting.
I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the agenda. Is there any changes tonight to the agenda? Any additions or deletions?
Who's gonna give the holidays up?
I got an email from Sarah to
Okay,
look
gotcha.
right up for that.
All right. That's the only concern I had.
Do we want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Wait, Joe, gotta approve the agenda first, not.
Oh, the agenda, I'm sorry, that was me.
I'm making a
Oh.
motion.
So
I made a motion to approve the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The agenda, not the minutes.
So I'll make up the motion to approve the agenda.
I'll support it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the minutes for August 2nd, 2023.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes for July 5th, 2023.
I'll support it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Public comment not related to the agenda.
Hang on, Joe. She said the minutes for July 5th should be August 2nd.
Okay, because that's what it says on here for approval for July 5th. So let's change that.
So we must have a amendment agenda that's out there, so. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, that's good for you to catch that. It's sad that I didn't. So we're gonna have to go back, right, to amend that agenda.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda for the approval of minutes to be August, Brian, help here?
August 2nd?
For August 2nd, 2023, instead of July 5th, 2023.
Yeah, I still got August 2nd in my support. Anybody support?
I'll support that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. Public comment not related to the agenda. Members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. For items on the agenda, comments may be made after commission discussion prior to commission vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public shall state their name and address for the record. Anybody for public comment? Hearing none, seeing none, let's move on to old business. Holidays update.
Okay, Sarah is not able to be here. She had a conflict with her daughter scheduling. She said that Mr. Nick Klemp would be willing to get up and give us a little update on what's going on with holidays.
Oh, sure.
I'm like, oh, I guess I don't need it. Excellent, so we got a great day.
Nick?
Oh, yes, Nick Klemp, 300 East Street. We have a great day planned for our holidays event. Lots of different people work to get the schedule made out. We have the color run, kicking it off like we normally do at Crapo Park. We have the Holidays Parade, which if you haven't seen or heard, they changed the route. It's going to go from VFW just down to the American Legion this year instead of going down Maple. Mostly just because of all the stuff going on here and not wanting, the police not wanting us to discharge into a street. So we're going to try that and see how that goes, especially since we're not sure exactly how this will be available in the future. Anyways, so just trying something different. And then we're going to have the free hot dog lunch at noon put on by the village administration, and community play day, which I know you guys have a hand in that, and Sarah's helped kind of put that together. I know she has a lot of participation, a couple new people participating in that this year. And so it's going to be a big turnout, I think, for that as well. That's always a big hit. At noon, the Moose Beer Tent is going to be starting up, and the Hadley House Museum will be open as well. Starting at 1, we're going to have the pie eating contest. That's been the last couple of years they've done. It's been a big hit. People having fun just doing that pie eating contest, having small, little prizes with that. But they always have a lot of fun doing that. And then starting at 2 will be the live music starting on the main stage there right next to the Moose. We have several acts lined up through the afternoon, and then at 4:30 something new that we haven't tried before, throwing something different in besides music. We're going to have magician Anthony Gruppito is going to be on the main stage and performing. I've known him for many years. He started out in Lake Orion as a high schooler, and when I worked at the high school, he came up there lots of times, and he did a show in Battle Alley, I think 2 years ago. He's a great guy, he does an awesome job. So if you have a chance at 4:30, that's when he'll be on the main stage for that. And then 7 to 9 will be the family dance that Cassandra will be putting on. I think last year she did dressed up as Carrie Nation, so I'm guessing she'll do that again, but doing the family street dance in Battle Alley. And then 8 to 11 will be the main stage band that the Moose helped sponsor. And so they'll be playing until around 9 o'clock, which is when the fireworks will go off over the water tower. So that's Saturdays. Also, they'll be doing, the village administration is going to be doing a 50-50 drawing for the fireworks fund as well, from 7 to 9 at the info booth. Also, what didn't make it on the schedule because it came after we had already printed a bunch of these up is the Hollyopoly game is arrived. So we'll be selling that from noon to 4 at the info booth as well. So if anyone's interested in getting one of those. And they'll be available afterwards at the village offices, of course, as well. And then Sunday they have the pancake breakfast at the American Legion. They have the farmers market from 10 to 2 as normal on Sunday in Crapo Park. And then at 1 p.m. at Cyclone Park is the vintage baseball game, which if you have never been to that, it's actually really fun. It's kind of entertaining. They have a guy that talks, knows the history and facts of the vintage baseball game. And he's outside and kind of tells you what's going on while they're playing. And it's a very interesting and entertaining time. So those are the things we have. I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything like that.
I just have a little bit to add as far as for holidays, for the community play day, just name off a couple of the companies that are going to be there, or a couple of the organizations. Holly Area Schools will be there. On stage we'll also be doing a little dance recital down there in the afternoon. We're going to have the Holly Police and Holly Fire. Holly Police will be showcasing their new drone that we just got. And then Holly Fire will have a smokehouse so that children can learn how to escape out of the houses quickly. We will also have the Holly Area Community Coalition, Holly Area Youth. We're gonna have popcorn, hot dogs, bounce houses. There will be blow-up archery for the kids. Township Parks will be bringing their disc golf. And then they will also have Amy Childers, who is their event coordinator, will be providing a craft for the kids. And I think you buried this, but we will have DJ Nick Klemp also playing some music for the kids.
Don't make that stop you.
And for the Saturday market, we're gonna have 52 vendors and 2 food trucks. And then for the Sunday market, there will be 80 vendors with 2 food trucks. So, looks like it's gonna be a good event.
Awesome, thank you.
Also, Sarah did want me to ask if any of you would be willing to volunteer. We're gonna need a lot of volunteers that day between parking, information booth, parade lineup. If you want to, you can also get with Nick and kinda let him know, and we're all gonna be wearing red t-shirts, the Main Street Volunteers, if you guys are interested in volunteering. That's all we have from Sarah.
Any questions? Looks like another happening weekend in Holly.
Absolutely, I think people are dying for a parade.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you for all the hard work.
No problem.
Good luck and good job finding the bands. Heard it was hard to do this year.
Yeah, actually, I didn't do that part. A lot of that was Josh and Hillary put the bands together. Yeah. My main thing was the parade.
Gotcha.
Bands are always difficult
Yeah.
for this.
Parades are always fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Ganshaw Park trees. You folks got a list of trees that we usually do in the village and stuff, to what we don't want, what we do want, how to plant, where to plant, and everything else. How does everybody feel about the DDA's
I have a
proposal?
question on these lists. When was this made? This seems very dated to me.
Right.
Somebody know the answer to that? When was this list made?
Before I got here, so at least 13 years
Because
ago.
you got a lot of things on here that are invasive. Some are even outlawed in some states. I've noticed, like under maple, honeysuckle, Orkel repair I on page 273 should be off. Number 2 should be off there. That's invasive. I think black locust is even on here as recommended trees, so I just have a feeling this is pretty dated, this list.
Well, it's in the ordinance, so for it to
Right.
change, it has to go to the ordinance committee.
Right, okay, yeah, that's fine. Maybe I should go bring that up to the council.
Yeah.
Okay. But, I mean, there's some good choices on your stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring that to the attention that it probably needs to be updated.
No, that's a great recommendation.
I think that maybe Chris, you can get with Brian, and Brian, you guys can work out updated list of what we are going to probably change to, what we suggest, recommendation to council on what trees. Now, was there a report from, or a connection with Consumers Energy about those cottonwoods?
I'm aware. The cottonwoods at Ganshaw?
Some of them are marked,
Yeah.
trim or something.
We were discussing before that if they were gonna do a heavy trim, to take them down, because there wouldn't be enough left to mess with.
Consumers is not real good at communicating when they're gonna do stuff, so I have not heard about any tree trimming there, so.
And they have marked a lot of trees in town.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of,
Got a couple.
Mark
Blue
with,
dots.
what, blue dots?
Yeah, blue dots.
Okay, then, yeah, but they usually use a contractor, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I was wondering if it would be a
yeah,
comment.
they have not updated me on anything that they're gonna do, so.
I guess we'll table this to further information. You get with Brian at his leisure,
Okay, I'll send it.
work a list on what we can look at, looking keep this moving along, because DDA wants to spend some money.
Okay, that's fine, yeah, well, I mean,
We're out of planting season, right? Like, we're not planting these till the spring anyway.
No, I mean, this time of year is not bad time to pump before they go dormant.
So are we looking to plant, if we table this, are we looking to plant in maybe October, November though?
I wouldn't think so, because we're waiting for consumers' energy to take out what they wanna take out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what their timeframe is.
I would probably look at this as next spring or summer.
Okay, so we are not looking to plant this
I
fall.
know, when I talked to the guy that was going around marking the trees, cause I wanted to know why he was in my yard, he said they were gonna start in August.
But they didn't say what year.
And they said the blue dot was trimming and the X was
Removal.
taking it out.
Yeah, removal, yeah. Yeah,
So
So
far,
I
I
guess-
haven't seen anybody.
I guess we'll bring this up, with more information later on. We'll work on this. Okay. Budget projects. What's going on, Brian?
I wasn't at the last meeting, you guys tabled it, I know I gave some information before I left about the baby swings and the cost for those. I finally was able to make contact with Goddard Coatings for the pickleball courts at Lakeside. They're doing the school project out here, but they never got back with me. They were out here several times, so, I will try to make contact with them again, or when they're out here, see if I can catch one of the, but they're not real good at returning calls, but they said this is their busy time, wrapping up for the year for school starting and stuff like that. So, as soon as I can get a cost of that, I know that was on the list. We still have a section to remove fencing and do some landscaping at Lakeside, and the ball diamond fence at Cyclone. And then, I don't know if there was a decision made on any of the other items. So, the drinking fountain, I'd given a cost on that, but I wasn't given any direction on whether or not we wanted to order that and replace it at Lakeside.
Yeah, I think we were just waiting because you were gone last month, so we
So if
didn't.
that's something to do, I'll get that ordered and see if we can get that in before fall.
And I think the other, project we were looking at was, Waterworks parking lot expansion, or improvement in expansion.
Well, that,
And we're looking at like $5,000 plus on that, correct?
well, that was just for materials to fill in the existing parking lot. If you wanna expand it, I'll have to get some pricing for that, cause that's a little bit more. We just can't just put gravel over the grass area. It's gonna have to be cut out with a,
Yeah.
a bulldozer or contractor to do that, so. They're a little bit more involved in expanding the parking lot versus just, filling in and bringing the existing parking lot up to the curb.
I guess we'll table that for further, investigation for money and prices on stuff.
Did you, get like pricing maybe on replacing the soft boards at the bridge that goes in Waterworks over?
No, I did not, cause I gotta get down there, cause I think there's 2 layers there, and I think one of them is 2x6 and one of them is 2x4, so I have to find out which one we need to replace. And that lost our 2 contract because 2 more guys left, and we did a round of interviews, and 2 guys were offered jobs and never returned phone calls, so. We currently have 4 guys at DPW and 2 are dedicated to water, so.
Yeah. Times are tough.
Something.
Okay, we'll table that to further notice. Arbor Day Foundation grant. Who was covering that?
I thought that was you.
I was looking into it, but we haven't done anything. Brian and I are supposed to get together to talk about what kind of trees and how many, and so as far as I know, we haven't gotten together, have we?
Nope.
I do have one question about that area. It's which, it's that whole fence line between the park and the cemetery, and the
And like the parking.
parking. Is it, are you thinking talking about taking out that entire cyclone fence,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of trees. That's a long fence.
Are you talking about Cyclone or are you talking about Lakeside?
No, the cyclone fence that goes.
Oh, that
between-
goes behind the houses?
No, the one
No, at
between the parking
Lakeside.
lot and the, park.
I mean,
Well,
that
we've
goes
removed half of it.
all the way
Lakeside.
from the road to almost to the cemetery. It's a really, really long fence. If you're
Okay, so that's
talking about-
Lakeside that you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We removed a section
Between
of
the
it
park
last year.
and, between the actual park and the parking
They wanna
area.
move it, yeah, they wanna remove it, all that side of the fencing, the part that goes like in the front, they wanted to leave there where those trees and the swings are.
Okay, 'cause that's, I mean, that's really long. This is gonna cost a lot. I didn't really realize how big the project was. And why? I mean,
Some of the commissioners didn't like the aesthetic.
it's a fence, but it serves its purpose. It's doing a nice job. It's not that ugly.
I'm in agreement with you, yeah, but there are others that don't like the aesthetics of that chain link fence.
I do have to say for ease of use, if you were trying to get to the lake, as far as like going to the pickleball courts and stuff, what is removed and having those rocks there is much easier to use than to carry all your equipment around. There was not an entrance really there that would suffice. I like where we live right now. I don't know if we need as many trees. I thought we were speaking more towards rocks.
We were doing a
For that?
combination of landscaping, yeah, so
Right.
there's trees, bushes, rocks, but yeah, there's certain areas are wide open, so they will need, some kind of deterrent so people don't just drive through there.
Right.
And there is also the concern, for safety, to remove it in case, the place had to be evacuated quickly.
Okay, but there's a big gate in there where, I mean, I don't care one way, I care,
Right.
but there's also a big gate in there more up towards the cemetery where people can get in and out fairly easily. It's just gonna be an expensive project. Okay.
I thought that part was already removed when I was there on Sunday.
Yeah, there's a bit of, how much has been removed already, Brian? Quite a bit,
Well, from the cemetery down,
yeah,
probably about 50 to 75 feet of it.
Right.
so it's about a third of the total.
There's still a lot to go, so.
Well, I'm still in highly favor of removing that fence. I think it's very unsightly. I thought so since it was first put in. And I was friends with the landscape architect who was so against putting the fence there in the first place, and I think he was correct. I just think you can look a lot better than a big old cyclone fence.
Oh, I
So I'm
agree.
still very much in favor
But-
of removing it. I don't think it's a huge cost like some of the other ideas we've had.
Okay, then you're gonna get with Brian yet on the Arbor Day Foundation grant.
Right.
Okay, we'll get the table that too. Okay, presentation about grants.
That was me. I know we talked about Spark grants last month and that there was this final round for underserved communities. They've already chosen those communities out of the people that had already applied in the first place, so we wouldn't make that cut. And then everybody else, there's no grants open right now. So just keeping my eye out for them when they do open and I will bring them to you.
Okay. Any other questions about grants? Okay, we'll move on to, general business. There is none. So then we're gonna move to closing public comment. Anybody have public comment for closing?
Anna Matson, 15091 Western Valley. I just quickly looked up that tree ordinance. It's 1995 is when it was made.
Thank you.
This stuff is easily found online, just so you guys know. Now, that specific ordinance is under the zoning ordinance, which it says that it's only in effect for site plan, so I don't even know if it's completely relevant, I don't know. but that's just quickly reading that, what that said. Now, there is a parks ordinance, which I think we need to pay attention to, and it says, appointment of village forester. The director of the village Department of Public Works shall serve as the village forester. It shall be the duty of the village forester or employees or persons working under his or her direction to control, superintend, regulate, promote, and encourage the preservation, maintenance, culture, planting, treatment, and care of trees planted in the rights of way, parks, and other public places. The next section says appointment of tree board. It says the village park commission shall serve as the tree board. And this is important because I don't know if we do this. It says, and develop an annual community forestry work plan to be submitted to the village forester for review, approval, and implementation. So I guess that's a question after public comment. I would like answered, like, do we do this on an annual basis? Has it been submitted? Because I feel like a lot of this stuff, I mean, this is months you're trying to do this, and you're just trying to get us a grant for trees.
Right.
I don't know why it's taking so long, and it's getting really frustrating for me, and I can imagine for you. So I think if we followed the ordinances and just had some accountability, this stuff could be done. It's been, I think, 3 months since we approved the survey. We worked on it, things went cold. There's been, I think, 2 council meetings since you guys approved it to send to council, and it hasn't been on the agenda. So I don't know if it's staff, if it's your liaison, I don't know what's going on. But that's really disheartening, especially when I look at an agenda where you guys talk about, you know, I know you didn't vote on anything today, but when you talk about grants and budgeted projects, because again, I'm just a very firm believer that you guys get your power from the people, you get your money from the people, and you make decisions on behalf of the people. So you should want to know what the people have to say about their own money that they're investing in this community. So I'm just a very big supporter of data and analytics. We all carry biases. So for me, I like to go around and say Holly needs a dog park because I have dogs and I like a dog park. I don't have any research to show you that Holly in general actually wants a dog park. That's why we do surveys and collect data, so we can actually put aside our own biases and actually get this data to be like, okay, you know what, this is actually proven that the community wants this support. And to go along with this, on grants, I know many, it's like half and half I want to say that I found with grants, that you need to prove community support, which would be in a survey, and also other things like site plan, or not site plan, but conceptual plan, maybe blueprint, stuff like that. When you apply for grants, even if it doesn't require community support, you gotta understand you're going up against communities that have it, that have done those things. They've put out a survey and proven that that project wants to be done. They might have had town halls about it, they have conceptual plans, they have blueprints, they may even have the land and say, we just need your money and we can start building. That's what you're going up against when you go for these grants. Especially us being in Oakland County, there's much richer areas that have more resources than us to do this. So it all starts with that survey so you know what's going on, and especially, you know, the master plan was just approved 2 council meetings ago and it wasn't brought up. I mean, I really think we need to get to this. I really do. So if we can just, if you guys can spend a little bit of time talking about that, those issues, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'd like to remind people that this board is only an advisory board to council. That's all we can do is send our advisements to council, then they can figure out what they want to do with it. The township parks is standalone from the township, but where they can do what they choose to do with a majority rule. So we're just an advisory board. Okay, anybody else for public comment? Well, reports. Ryan.
Well, we talked about the budgeted stuff, and we talked about the mold. The contracted mold guy has terminated his contract with us, so we're back to trying to figure that out. So
Contracted what guy?
the contracted mowing.
Oh, I thought you said mole.
No, mowing, sorry, mowing. So, DPW has tried to pick up the slack this week, so everything will look nice for holidays. And, that's a big event this weekend, and that's what we got, so.
With very few employees.
4.
It's been a tough last 2 years. Everybody kind of left and it's hard to hire people and people just don't want to do it. We're running into the same thing with township parks. You know,
Everybody wants to work from home. Can't cut grass and, fix roads from home.
Okay, that's all you have. Any questions of Brian?
Do we know, Sarah and I went through a walkthrough of Crapo to organize who was gonna be where for the community play day, and she said, somebody had said that the power out there wasn't working. Do we know if we've tested that yet, or?
I had an electrician out. That power that was on that single pole, I believe may have come from the light pole that was destroyed when the.
We thought that that's how it ran, yeah,
And it
okay.
was never replaced, that, to my knowledge, until we just found out. I thought all was came from that breaker box. So there was no lead or anything like that, so that power box is obsolete right now, so.
Okay.
Per-
Great.
Okay, moving on to commissioner reports. Raisa?
I have nothing.
Amber?
Sarah wanted to make sure that we acknowledge on behalf of all the Parks Commission, Claudia Klemp for all her hard work in organizing volunteers for Crapo Park. Yay, Claudia.
She did do paint the benches, but they need another coat, but.
No, but it still looked really nice out there when we did our walkthrough on Thursday, so we would just like to make sure that she was thanked. Regarding the survey, I am the liaison to the council, and I have brought that up to administration, and it was decided due to the move, and if anybody has been on the open discussion page lately, some of the vitriol on that, we did not want that to impact the results of this survey for parks. We want to get past that hurdle, and then we will focus on your survey, for sure. I think we're all in agreement that we want to know what the community's input is. I know we have done the surveys in the past. That's how we know some of these ideas that we have on our budgeted lists for this year. The survey that we would conduct here in the fall/winter would be a reflection for our budget next year. So I just want to make sure that we know that you've not been forgot about, I promise.
Any questions for her? Okay, moving on to Shannon.
I do want to say also, as far as the survey goes, it's ready to go. The forms are there. As soon as we get the okay, it's great to go out. I think it's got a nice bit of open-ended questions in there that are going to give us great feedback. I want to thank the DDA for working with us at Granshaw, making sure that we are getting trees there. That definitely frees up for what we're looking at Lakeside. As far as I'm concerned, I have watched a ton of pickleballers over at Lakeside Park lately. It's totally new to me. I'm a paddle boarder myself, and so I hadn't noticed that before. I am excited to find out what that does to, as far as resurfacing goes. So thank you for looking into that, Brian. I think that is a big hit with our village park right there. That's where I'm at. I'm interested in revamping some of these trees as well, Chris. I think that as far as some of the ones on that list, they are not great trees. I don't necessarily support having some of those in that area. And if we have to work with the DDA as far as their layout for what they're thinking with Granshaw Park as well, I am totally in for that.
Okay, Chris.
I have nothing to add.
Participation of surveys. been with the village since 1992. And you look at surveys we send out, then you look at how many voters show up at the polls out of the number of voters we have, the eligible registered voters. 10%'s a big turnout. Maybe 12's a landslide, you know? So that's what you gotta look at. That's people that are voting for their future. Get out and vote, folks. Get registered. And that was one of the rules in my house when my son lived there. If you're gonna be in my house, you gotta be a registered voter. I don't care who you vote for or what. And his name was right below mine on the voter's registration. So when I voted, I could see that he got checked out. So, and also there was a penalty, $100 penalty, so, and he's still a good voter, so that's the biggest thing about participation. You know, even during our presidential ones, the last ones have been records, but before in this community, it was out of everybody in the community, it wasn't, 10% was a big turnout. So that's what you gotta look at, you know, that's everybody's right is to vote and say their piece or elect somebody to say their piece, so that's what I've seen over the years. Well, that's my little speech. Oh, big deal on this weekend. You know, if anybody's got volunteers or people that wanna do something or just do anything, come on down. Enjoy yourselves in Holly, 'cause this is it. We planned all this all year.
This is our big one.
And thanks, Nick and Josh, and everybody else that's put it in. It's a lot of hours. Okay, that was it for reports, and I would adjourn the meeting at 6:36.
You're out.